Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you. Welcome to another video. Right then, so we have a new housing minister. Information up there. She's the MP for Peckham. Yeah, Del Boy's old stomping ground. In any case, as a bit much like the new farming minister, who has absolutely no idea about farming, this one has some ideas about housing, but they're not the good ideas. It's another one of these pipe dream idiotic socialists, communism style things where she wants to get rid of private renters, as in you shouldn't have private landlords. The only landlord there should be the government landlord. Yes, indeed. And she wants to stop that, basically, and she wants people to build social housing, lots of social housing. She wants all builders to have a good mix, but she wants them to build more and more social housing. But the problem is, if you know anything about house building, like every other business, it's all about making money, and they don't make a lot of money for building social housing. So they'd have a tendency to put a few in, but it's not very many because, well, as I said, it doesn't make them any money. There's no financial incentive for them to place loads of social housing in their building projects. So if you say we want loads and loads of social housing, 9 times out of 10 the builders just go, actually I think we'll change our mind, and just don't build. So that will all that does is succeed in reducing the housing stock. Now, to her credit, at the moment in time, the idea that was being muted, well, I say muted, the idea that's going to come into fruition is the fact that they want to add national insurance onto the earnings of private renters, as in the landlords. Which of course means that the landlords are going to, well, walk away. Why would you want to have that extra expense? Well, let's rephrase it. They'll either walk away, or to compensate for it, the rents are going to have to go up. So basically what you're going to end up doing is pricing a lot of people out of the ability to rent a house. So you have to leave. I mean, there is Serco, of course, and the government offering you 5-year contracts, fully paid with all your maintenance costs covered. I mean, not that that's tempting or anything. So there's that. The other thing is, of course, is they want to increase the tax you have to pay if you sell your home. For instance, if, like my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they bought their house in the 70s, and now if they want to sell it, they get a really, really tidy chunk. But the problem is, under the new rules that they want to bring in, you'd have to pay 26% of that in tax to the government because, well, how dare you sell your house? So there's that issue, of course, which is going to stop you wanting to sell your houses. And then, of course, remember there's the one that was muted where you have to pay tax for owning your house over a certain threshold. And the more expensive your house is, obviously, the more tax you pay. So you're actually getting taxed for owning your home. You see, you can see quite clearly now that there is a concerted effort and attack on housing. Now, they're doing it because they want it to be in their favour. There's an absolute definite attack on housing. And as with all Labour plans, the whole idea is that's going to raise them loads of money. But like every other Labour idea, it looks good and sounds good, but we don't do any risk assessment. Because what this will do is force private landlords to look at the finances and go, fuck it, and sell their house. And then that makes the people inside homeless. And then when they go to the council go, well, we got nothing because you're not a priority. So you will have hundreds of thousands of people with nowhere to go and nowhere to live, or having to pay nearly all their wages just to afford the rent and bills. So they may have a house, but they may not necessarily be able to afford to heat it or power it, and they'll be on meager rations because they have to sink everything that they earn just to keep a roof over their heads. And they think that this is a good idea. What they want is masses of social housing so immigrants have somewhere to live and the employed have somewhere to live, paid for by the taxpayer. But the problem is the more that they do what they do to businesses, the more people come unemployed, the more housing you need, and it's a vicious circle that never closes the end because it just doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, we live in a world where people, what's the word I'm looking for, don't think like that. We can all see where the problem is. We can see where all the issues are. We can see that it wouldn't work. It can't work. It's impossible for it to work. Yet they're doing it. And it's the politics of communism and socialism. You know, we will own nothing and be happy. Except, of course, all of their ideas backfire massively because they never go, ever. And I've not seen one single plan that the Labour government have done where they've gone, let's do this. And someone goes, right, okay, so if we do that, what happens to A, B, C, D, and E? They never do that. And because they never do that, they find out very quickly that their brilliant idea to raise finances and tax ends up costing them more than what they gain. And the downside of it is us, the general public, suffer the most. Food prices, gas prices, everything else is going up. Our wages are going down. And now with all the things that they want to do, they may make you have to be kicked out of your house because you won't be able to afford the rent. Or the landlord just thinks, fuck it, I can't be arsed. It's just not worth it. I'll sell it and go. Or you'll lose your job because the company can no longer afford, with its national insurance contributions and everything else, to pay you. And then when they bring in, I mean, they're talking of scrapping the business and farming buildings tax relief, which helps businesses and farms, which will cause them to collapse. Because to them, it's all about grabbing as much money as they can without realising that it's a very, very short-term gain. And the damage it does means that your money runs out. As Margaret Thatcher quite rightly said, the thing with socialism is it's wonderful until they run out of other people's money to spend. France is having it, Germany's having it, Spain, Portugal, all over Europe. Europe's collapsing, and so are we, financially, because we're run by socialist governments that are running out of our money to spend. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? I know it's all dark times, and I'm ever so sorry about that. I wish one of these days I could just come on and do a video that was really good news. It was interesting to see what's happening with the French. It's very interesting to see what's happening in Germany, where for some unknown reason, AfD politicians are dropping down dead in their homes. 7 now, I think it is. Weird. The world is just collapsing around us, and no matter how much you try and explain and tell them that this is what you're doing, that's what's doing, it doesn't work out that way, does it? It's sad, really, isn't it? Let me blow my nose, because my nose is running. It actually started running on the 1st of September. It's like it's autumn. You now must have 4 months of perpetual cold. Any case, so there you go. So housing is under attack. I mean, shock horror. Hey, shock horror. Any case, I'm done. Ways to support the channel down below. Don't forget to do. I had to stop saying it, but I should really say. Please like, share, and subscribe. Liking helps the channel the most. It's what YouTube uses. And I'm sorry about the bracket rattling on the thing. I thought you fixed it, but clearly I hadn't. I do apologise for that. I will fix it. I think I know what the problem is. So, apologies for the rattling. It stopped and now it's come back again. Bloody thing. Any case, ways to support the channel down. Like, share, subscribe. I think I've already covered that. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and while I arrive at my rented house. So when it comes to rental things, I really have got a dog in this fight.
You said to me that you can't stand the world you're living in no more. I can't say